Hi, my name is Adufuh. I'm an artist born and raised in Ghana. I like to delve into finding the balance, tracking the balance between subjectivity and also my own personal experience. My journey as an artist growing up in Ghana and coming to the United States and living here for almost the same amount of time. There's been this duality about my experiences in which when I go back to Ghana, I'm able to dig in, explore into the history in Ghana and find, parallel discourses that, that's also in part with my experience here. Well, the earliest memories that I have of my childhood was that I remember my village didn't have lights, first of all. And the way I was able to entertain myself as an artist and find characters to paint and draw was that my uncle was a taxi driver, and when he would get back home, we would literally take out his car battery and plug into this black and white small TV set that we would, I would watch cartoons, Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, all the characters, and then I'll pick up a sketchbook and start drawing that and share that with my friends. So from the early ages, I started practicing and drawing and doodling. But when I moved to the United States, I didn't initially pursue art as a career choice. I only started that about 3 to 4 years ago, I would say. Well, I wanted the imagery to look as normal as I can, right? These are normal people that I encounter with and engage with, I share memories with. So they're in part of my life, part of my experience. The environment in which they're in is picked from traditional fabrics from my culture, and a little bit about that when the colonial masters, and the old masters were creating work of art with vibrant garments and just like this posture of being glorified in such a way. Even dogs were even considered, as a higher social class than the servants and what have you. And when they would photograph their colonized people, they wouldn't care about everything that's around in their environments, or what clothes they were wearing, or what conditions they were in, right? So they were just drenched in imagery of falsehood that was being pushed in the mainstream media about who these people are. So in the 80s, when African photographers got a hold of, started taking their own photographs of their own people, they started identifying with, backdrops and different sceneries that were true representation of who they are, right? So now the narrative switched, right? So now we have a hold the camera and we can, share our own story. We can tell our own story. So that's kind of like the entry point to how I create those backgrounds and trying to identify myself within it as well too. So this is part of my culture. All the portraits of the individuals that I create are people that I know. As for example, Mary. She's a girl that I was, one of my students in Ghana, from which I taught her creative studies and art. I did school, set up curriculums. Anita, this little girl, same thing. She's like the most beautiful, kind-spirited human being that I've ever met. Every single day, when I would walk in school, she'd literally run to me, give me a hug, and just like such innocence in her face, and how she's literally carefree about what people think about him. And that speaks to how society we are. As children now, have that state of mind, and as they begin to grow, they begin to have this restriction from society about what they are able to do and what they're not able to do. So then, an artist, I'm able to learn all of these, things, relearn all of these things from them, because when I look at them, I see myself as well at that age, needing that mentor to, teach me in that creative field. So I try to keep the process of creating as free flow as possible, without any preconceived notion, ideas. I have some, different, I may have some different entry points or ideas that I may establish as a base, but I kind of love, allowing the process of creating the work to take on its own path as I continue to create. And I think this is the best practice for me, because I'm always able to get the best results out of that, out of creating that work, instead of having this, okay, this is how it's going to be and already planned. So this piece is a piece of a series that I've been working on called Moment of Mindfulness. And it talks about exactly this position in my life where I've spent the same amount of time as, in the United States as I did in Ghana, and talking about the duality in my experiences and unpacking those nuances about myself, and finding myself in a space of questioning identity, and thinking about what diasporanism is, and whether or not it's something that can be altered and it's just something an individual has to continuously hold on to, or it's something that comes with your experiences in life. So by these experiments and then taking a look at myself as an individual black male figure in the United States, I'm able to see certain things that, being in the space of, this grappling with this nuances of an identity, and this is the inspiration I'm able to pull out of it. So being in that, the helmet, also serves like as a restriction space, but as also a space in which one can identify themselves, because they're shut away from everything else that's outside. So that's kind of like where the inspiration for creating that piece came from. Hi, my name is Adufuh. I'm an artist born and raised in Ghana. I'ma need that. Frida Watoto with